Hello, this is Sachin. In this lecture video, I am going to present Introduction to Embedded System CBOO KV, Chapter 7, Hardware Software Co-Design and Programming Model. In this chapter, we learn the fundamental issues in hardware software co-design and computational models available in embedded design. So, objectives of this chapter are learn the co-design approach for embedded hardware and firmware development. There are different models, fundamental issues in model. The architecture, language selection are the issues that we discuss, and at the same time there are some models we try to understand, that is DFG, data flow graph, CDFG, control data flow graph, finite state machine model, sequential programming model. First, we will try to understand traditional embedded system development approach. The hardware partitioning in a traditional embedded system development approach, where the hardware and software partitioning done at the early stage, and the engineers, the experts who sit together and make a software group and hardware group, and they architects, system architects and high level officials sit together and they partition the embedded system what they are going to develop into two parts, that is this part is to be implemented, or these functions to be implemented in hardware, and this part should be in software, and these softwares are to be used, and these are the hardware are to be used. There is no flexibility for the group for selection of hardware and in between the software. There is a less interaction between the hardware team and the software team, and the development happens either serially or in sometime parallelly, and once the hardware and software get ready, then the both hardware and software are integrated and is performance checked, and if once it's okay, it's work fine, and then that product is shipped to the market. And the next approach is hardware software co-design approach for embedded system development. In this case, the product requirements are collected from the customers, converted into system level needs, processing requirements, rather than partitioning them in either into hardware and software. Then the system level processing requirements are then transferred into functions which can be simulated or verified against the performance and functionality. And then the architecture design follows the system design, and the partition of the system level processing and the hardware and software takes place during this phase. But in traditional, at the beginning only they have decided that these are the hardwares we are going to use, and these are the softwares we are going to use, and this is the processing capacity, everything. But here, based on the customer needs and requirement changes, the hardware softwares are partitioned. Each system level processing requirement is mapped as either hardware or software requirement. The partitioning is performed based on the hardware and software trade-off in the sense how easily we can access that software, or how cost effective it is, and overall throughput or a performance, or such a or time to market, how much time it will take if you go through this architecture or the so and so language if you use for software development or a firmware development. So, these all trade offs will matter in selection or what we call it is in a partitioning hardware and software in the hardware software co-design approach. So, that are some fundamental issues in hardware software co-designs we will face. Model selection. There are a few models are available that whether a mathematical model, it may be a DFG data flow graph or a controlled flow graph model or a sequential model or such some models are available. So, which model we are going to adopt, that is a matter of selection. So, the model captures and describes the system characteristics, overall system characteristics. For example, it is a mouse what we are designing embedded system, its overall characteristics, how it works, when I press right button what happens, when I press left button what happens. So, these are all included in that model, and that model will give the overall picture idea about that embedded system characteristics. The model is a formal system consisting of objects and composition rules and all. So, objects vary with each phase. From phase to phase, this object will varies for the, and most of the designers switch between the variety of models from requirement specifications to the implementation aspects of the system design. Next is architecture selection. There are how the system can be manufactured. So, that the model only captures the system characteristic, does not provide the information about the how the system can be manufactured. So, architecture specifies how the system is going to be implemented, and there are few architectures are available in the There is a controlled architecture, controller architecture, data path architecture, CISC, what we call as a complex instruction set computing architecture, RISC architectures, reduced instruction set computing architectures, VLIV, very long instruction world computing architectures, and SIMD, single instruction multiple data architectures, and MIMD, multiple instruction multiple data architectures. There are so many such architectures that depends on the trade off between the design matrix and computation that the architectures are incorporated for the customer defined embedded system what we that is developing. Language selection. For firmware development, the programming languages captures the computational model and maps into architecture, and there are multiple programming languages available for this purpose: C, C++, C hash, Java, etc. are the software implementation languages. And if any specific single purpose IC is required for the implementation of the embedded system, then VLSI, VHDL, System C, Verilog, this are the for hardware implementation are required. And the computational, the certain languages are good in capturing certain computational models. For example, C++ is an object oriented model, can be implemented using the C++. Partitioning of a system requirements into hardware into software. So, as it is told, the hardware and software trade off like performance, reusability, efforts and time to market, time to prototype, etc. are used for making the decision on hardware and software partitioning. So, how best this is very much essential that how best performing embedded system we can launch in the market, right, in a short period of time. Based on that, nowadays because of the open market, there is a huge competition between the companies. So, that is why the hardware and software partitioning is done in keeping in view of all these, right, design attributes or what we call the matrices. So, next second part of this chapter is computational models in embedded system design. So, there is a first model what we learn about in this is a design data flow graph or a diagram, sometime it is called. It's in short always it's called as a DFG model. So, this DFG model translate the data processing requirements into data flow graph, and the data driven model in which the program execution is determined by data, and a visual model in which the operation on the data, the raw data. For example, we want to add two numbers that are stored in a variable a, b, then what we do will and the result is stored in x, y, z, some variable, then y is equal to a plus b operation will carry. This is the operation on that data process represents the circle, we represent in circle the operation addition plus, and then the from the data we use the arrow mark pointing to that towards the circle that represent input to that function, and then the arrow mark going outward from the process circle, that process circle. What is the process? Addition. Process circle represents the out data in the DFG notation. What does it mean? DFG, data flow graph notation. It can be understood very well by looking at the model here what is given as an example. The model requirements is x is equal to a plus b and y is equal to x minus c. We are going to implement. First we implement x is equal to a plus b. So, here a and b are the raw data, that the data is given as an input, as it is told. We draw a circle to represent the process, data process, and the arrow mark represent the flow of data, right. I hope you understood. Look at the cursor where I am pointing on the screen. So, a and b are the two variable raw data we are feeding as an input to this process. What is the process? Process is to represent the process in the graph, we draw a circle and a plus sign in that, and then we will get the output x. X we are representing on the outgoing arrow mark. Right. So, and then the next expression is implemented, y is equal to x minus c. So, x already we got after doing a plus b and then plus c. So, the another process for what we are doing is subtraction. For that we draw one more circle and we join these arrow marks to this, and we draw the subtraction minus sign in this circle. So, we will get the y output. This is the model, this is called as a data flow graph model for this process. What process? X is equal to a plus b and y equal to x minus c. And a DFG model is said to be acyclic if it does not contain multiple values for the input variable and multiple output values for the given set of inputs. And the feedback input and events in this. And next one in this model, what is a controlled data flow graph. Next model is, and is the all the notations what we have used for DFG remain same. Circle for process, arrow mark for giving input, the arrow mark towards the circle are inputs, and arrow mark going outside from the circle is called as an output. Everything remains same, and only additional thing what we add here is a rhombus for decision making. And use the DFG graph as an element and conditional as decision makers. So, here the same thing is explained where I am pointing the cursor on the screen. So, the control node is represented by a diamond block, that what I extra added here. So, it is better understood this CFD, CDFG controlled data flow graph by looking at this model flow. If a flag equal to 1, then we are doing this x is equal to a plus b, else we are doing y is equal to a minus b. So, look at here, so there is a execution flow, then we take a decision here, flag is equal to 1, yes, true, that what we are doing a and plus b, the result is again point. And then if flag is not equal to 1, then what we are doing a minus b, look at here, a, b are fed as an input to this circle and we are generating the output, we are doing this operation. If it is true, addition operation, if it is false, subtraction operation. I hope it is simple, just a flow chart what you had drawn in while studying a C language, similar it looks. Next one is next model is state machine model. State machine model is based on the states and state transitions. This is simple example, as you know, electrical switch, what do you do? On, off. When it is in keep, there are the two states, on, off, and transition. When it is in off, when you make it, when you press it for on, the transition takes place from off to on. When it remains in on for some time, when you want to make it off, the switch button you press, the transition takes place from on to off. So, this model will help gives the details about the working of the embedded system or a characteristic of embedded system, which reveals characterize by by states and its state transition from how the embedded system switch from one state to another state, and what kind of transition happen from one state to another state when it is do the transitions, switch from one state to another state. And the whole system behavior of the embedded system is described in terms of states, events, actions and transitions. The state is represent the current situation, state represents the current situation, state of the current situation when it is in off, switch is off, present situation is off. When I make it on, press on the switch, then the what is the current situation? From off to on. Okay. The event is the input, yes, input. I am changing by giving the input, pressing the button, I am giving the input, that is called as an event. Event acts as a stimuli for state transition. I am giving the input what? I press the switch button, right, electric switch, right. I pressed it from off to on, that is transition. Transition is the movement, from one state to another state, right, off to on. Action is the activity. What is the activity I have done? I have pressed the button to make it off to on. So, it is a performed state machine. It is called as a finite state machine. Why it is called as a finite state machine? The states off to on for switch, there are 2 only, you can count it. So, that is why it is finite, it is not infinite, it is not n number of different. So, very few states. If the model is the working of any embedded system and it is modeled by using very few states to make the customer or the one who is using, end user, that what how it works, it is explained at the development time, then this is called as a finite state machine diagram. So, this FSM can be better understood by the seat belt warning in the automotive. So, if in a car, when the vehicle ignition is turned on, the seat belt is not first ended within 10 seconds. So, here the seat belt alarm is off, the ignition key on, you make the ignition key on to start the car, and then the system will wait for some time till you wear the belt. Then after 5 seconds, after 10 seconds, it start, what time expires. After 10 seconds, look at here where I am pointing the cursor, it waits for 10 seconds, then when the time expires, alarm is on. When alarm time expires, okay, ignition key off, seat belt on, the ignition key is off, it stops, alarm will be off. If the ignition key you made it on and wait for some time, if you make immediately ignition key off, if seat belt is on, when you wear it, so ignition key is off, even the wear. So, the alarm, when unless and until you wear the seat belt, it go on repeating this for after every 10 seconds, for 5 seconds it will beep. Okay. This is the transition between alarm off, wait for some time, alarm on, and again alarm become off, after some time again it will go on, wait for 5 minutes, and then the alarm will be made on, unless and until you wear the seat belt, the alarm, this transition takes place. So, one more very best example what we can give is automatic coffee tea vending machines. As you know, everywhere you will get this coffee vending machine. They are the requirements. The tea first will just go through, read it first. Look at there where I am pointing the cursor. Tea coffee vending machine is initiated by user by inserting 5 rupees coin, where you have to insert the coin. After inserting a coin, user can select either coffee, tea, or press cancel order and take back the coin. If you press the cancel order and take back the coin. First, look at here, when it is in ideal, you have to insert a coin. Insert a coin, it event, what event? Insert a coin, event has happened. What is the action? OK. Then after that, state B is selection. Selection whether it is tea or coffee. Look at the cursor I am pointing. C coffee, tea, you go towards the D state. D Yes. If selected, then the action, what the action? Dispense the coffee. Look at here, once again I will explain. There are 4 states: state A, insert a coin; state B, selection, whether you want to coffee, tea or coffee; state C, if in B you have selected tea, then it switched to state C, where the tea is dispensed. At the state B, if select the state D, coffee is dispensed, and again come back to the state A. When you insert one more coin, again this will repeat. So, look at here, you insert a coin, yes, insert a coin, action, okay. If you say you have option, select T, at base state B, you will give option 3 options, either tea, coffee or cancel order. If you cancel order, coin come out, again you start, again we have to start from a state A. If you press T, it will switch to state C, where the what event has happened? T button pressed. When a T button press, state C, switch to state C, the system will, and what the action it takes? It will dispense the tea, and it is the same thing will happen at the this side, coffee dispense. Sequential programming model. The sequential programming model, how the process requirements are executed in sequence in a proper order from. So, the FSM is a good choice for sequential programming model, and the flowchart is another important tool used in modeling sequential programming. So, it is better understood by looking at this, the flow graph for the same, which one? Seat belt system, embedded system. We will just go through this slide. So, the programming instructions are iterated and executed conditionally, and the data gets transformed through the series of operation from top to bottom. The flowchart is another important tool used for modeling the sequential program. Okay. So, here first look at here how it flows. So, we will just go through that. Ignition key on, yes, it wait for 10 minutes, ignition on, no, the end, then yes, seat belt on. If you are yes, okay. If you are no, you are not wear the seat belt, set a timer for 5 start timer. Then again ignition on. If it is okay, ignition is on, yes, seat belt on. Time expired, stop alarm. It will 5-second alarm will be set. Every time after setting the alarm also it will check, is ignition on, yes, seat belt is on, yes, okay, stop alarm, no, time expired, again ignition on, once again it will check for seat belt. This will repeat the flow diagram. Then the same what is explained is written in the form of program. So, you can just go through seat belt. So, wait for 10 seconds, if check ignition key is on, yes, then check for seat belt, set the timer for 5 minutes and set the alarm. Okay. So, this is a repeat it till you wear the seat belt. Concurrent or process model. So, the process model here is the overall the processes whatever they are there, they are all written separately and run concurrently and simultaneously, what we can say. The program instructions are iterated and executed conditionally, and the data get transformed through the series of operations. So, in the certain processes it is required or easier to model the concurrent processing model than the conventional sequential model. So, for that what we have to do, we have to split if the task is split into multiple subtasks. So, for example, seat belt. So, there it has some tasks. So, for check for a belt and set the alarm, and all these small tasks are divided into small multiple subtasks. If it is possible to tackle the CPU usage effectively, when the subtask under the execution goes to wait or sleep mode by switching the task execution. The concurrent processes model requires additional overhead in task scheduling, task synchronization and communication. That is extra thing what we have to do. So, here for every the total task what seat belt alarm system warning or system which is used in the automotive is divided into small tasks created: a wait timer, ignition key status monitor, seat belt status monitor, alarm control and alarm timer. So, this in a sequential model we have done in one sequence. We have written a program that repeatedly based on the condition it works. But in this case what we do, we separate small tasks we create and they are executed concurrently. So, look at here, that is a program, that program is written separately in a small tasks, and then this is repeated, okay. And as you then based depends on the event, the tasks are executed. Object oriented model. The complex programs or software requirement is divided into into simple well defined pieces called as objects, and these objects are description of the set of the objects can be considered as a blueprint of objects, and these objects behavior are defined as a private, public and protected. And the private means access only within the class, and public means access within as well as outside the class, or external class access is prohibited if it is in a protected. So, these are all what we have. There are two design approaches for hardware and software, and programming modeling of the hardware software firmware modeling we have just presented. I hope you understood each and every model or a concept. So, if you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe, and even pass the link of this to your friend. Okay. Thank you for watching.